So The Real World was the first show you did. Did you have a job when you applied to that?
No, I was in college.
Oh, you were still in college.
I did have a job at the Gingerbread Man. It was my last real job. I worked at a pizza shop at Penn State called the G-Man, the Gingerbread Man.
Oh my God. Okay, amazing.
So people ask, what's your last real job? I was like, I have not had a real job for now going on 19 years. But that's and that's one of the biggest knocks. Not one of the biggest knocks, but like fans or haters always love
biggest
to say
misunderstanding, I think.
When are you gonna get a real job?
Yeah.
Okay. To this day, I'm still waiting for somebody to give me the definition of a real job. So because I don't sit in a cubicle from 9 to 5 and have 2 weeks vacation every year and a 401k and a health plan, that means I don't have a real job?
Well, no, but I get it, because I think people don't understand how you can make a career out of reality TV. They don't get it actually pays the bills in a very quick, succinct amount of time. You get a lot more money than some people make in a year. And it's very rare for someone to continually do this for decades to be able to sustain it. So you've been a very lucky and one of the only people, I think, that's really made a career out of it.
Yeah. Well, and again, it goes back to so that's what I would have said. I've been lucky. But it took me a long time to actually give myself credit for where I ended up. And it's like, it isn't luck.
Right.
It's for
strategy.
me, it's the fact that I haven't stepped away. Every single other person that's done reality TV, whether it's on my show or otherwise, has at one point or another kind of taken a break, started a family, had a relationship, had kids. I've never done that. Now, I'm also lucky to be on the one show. The challenge is basically, my original season was The Real World. 7 strangers picked to live in a house, have their lives taped, the original reality television show. Mine was in Key West, Florida. And then there was another show called Road Rules, and these were both MTV kind of coming of age shows. Once those shows were over, then they had what was called the Challenge, where they would take fan favorites from those 2 shows, and then you would compete in different competitions, physical, strategic, carnival games, whatever it is. So it allowed you then to extend your shelf life on TV and continue going back.
Right.
And again, I was given the opportunity to do that.
But up until that point, were people only doing it, they got one opportunity to be on the challenge, or you knew you could continue that? I mean, you've been on it 24 seasons?
24 seasons, yeah.
That's incredible. Out of how many? 40?
Out of 40.
Yeah.
So I started at season 13. So there's only been 3 seasons, I guess, that I've taken off.
But is that normal that people repeat?
Yeah, well, it depends. So it's all based on what you bring
to the table.
to the table.
Yeah.
And if you are a charismatic, dynamic, type of character that is gonna bring drama or is gonna bring good television, then yeah, they'll keep having you back. And I just happen to have the perfect mix of athleticism, strategery, intelligence, tomfoolery. Like, I just kind of brought all those different elements to the table, and I feel like it's weird. The challenge is somehow, some way, I've found the perfect profession for myself, because reality TV, I've always been told my entire life to conform to, this is the box we want to put you in, right? Whether it was jobs I had, because I've worked corporate jobs. Well, Banana Republic, I guess, But I remember growing up in that being that corporate structure. I'm always like, I don't want authority.
Yeah.
I want to be able to be in charge of myself, and I want to be able to be me. And the reality TV is the first time that they actually encouraged you to be sometimes the worst version of yourself. And I mean, I started reality TV back in the Wild West when things were a lot more lawless than they are now. And I think, that's it's allowed me to learn and change and learn a lot about myself. I've been able to watch myself grow up on TV. I started when I was 23. I'm 42 now. And the thing about being able to watch yourself on TV is you're able to see yourself from a perspective that most people don't ever get a chance to see. You see yourself in reality as like, this is who I am, and then other people see you as someone different.
Right.
But when you're watching yourself from that third perspective, you're able to see yourself the way others see you.
Right.
And I was able to take a lot of things about myself that I didn't like, throw them away. And I was able to keep things about myself that I liked and, you know, kind of highlight those things. So I've been lucky enough to, you know, grow up and change and take my lumps, you know, in the public eye. And
well, I want to ask, what do you think are some of the most common misconceptions about you based on your reality TV persona?
I don't have a heart. I don't have emotion. I'm an asshole. And these things are true in some capacity. But what a lot of people don't realize, the person you're sitting next to interviewing right now is not Johnny Bananas. This is John DiVinanzio. The Johnny Bananas persona is, yes, it is who I am, but it is a much more loud, over the top, in your face version of myself. And I have actually, in a way, created that and used that over the years as a protective mechanism. The show that I do, the world that I live in, is very exploitative. People will exploit any vulnerabilities they see. I mean, that's what my show is all about. My show is literally, it's like being in a Shark Tank. So people will take any weakness that they see and they will exploit it to try and, you know, either end you on the show and get rid of you. So I have this persona that I put out there that is sarcastic and it is emotionless and everything is tongue in cheek and I don't take anything seriously. Because if you attack that persona, you're not affecting me.
Sure.
You're affecting that shield that I put out there. And that's why it is difficult for me sometimes to open up and to be vulnerable because I'm so used to people trying to get one over on me, get the best of me, burn me, that as long as I keep them at arm's distance, they can't do that. So what that comes across then a lot of times to people who see me on TV or on social media, they mistake me not showing emotion for not having any.
Right.
So I think that's one of the big misconceptions about me.
Do you think that you've learned a ton of things throughout the 24 seasons you've been on that have really made you win? You won 7 times, right? I mean, is there a right way to do it, or does it depend on the cast and the season? Like, how does that work? It
changes every season. So the cast, even though there are mainstays, the cast switches up. The theme of the show is different. The location's different. The elements, the challenges, everything's different every season. So I never go in with a plan, which I think is one of the things. I never go in like, this is what I'm going to work with. This is going to be my strategy. Mainly because anyone and everyone that I've worked with in the past at one point or another has burned me. Because I have risen to such a high level on the show, I'm the face of the show. It's like I go on and instead of people wanting to work with me, everyone just wants to get rid of me.
Right.
So that's what I've had to deal with. However, a lot of people come on and their minds are in the wrong spot, especially with guys. Guys come on, they want to be the biggest, strongest guy there, which strength you need in some capacity, but this show is all about more like agility and endurance. But more importantly than that, I think what has separated me aside from other people on the show is my adaptability. You can put me, and again, I think this is what I've always just been I've always had a very high EQ, and I've always just been able to like understand people and the human condition and why people do what they do. I'm an empath, so I just am able to understand and read people. And being able to go on a show like The Challenge, where that's what it's all about. It's all about human interaction. It's just sociology and how people are operating in groups. And being able to like read that and understand that and exploit that and manipulate that is, I think, what separated me aside. One of my favorite quotes is from Darwin. And I think this kind of sums me up in a lot of ways and my success on not just The Challenge, but in life. He says, in nature, it's not the strongest nor the smartest that survive. It's those with the ability to adapt. And again, you could put me anywhere in front of anyone and I'll just figure it out.